Here we are. I told you this was going to happen. We have officially got the big social media platforms slowly making their way to start censoring and banning altogether astrology, tarot, spirituality, all of this stuff. Before I continue about what I want to talk about with this, let me first share with you the video that brought this to my attention. I saw this reel. It was shared to me on Instagram of this girl. I believe her name is Cosmic_Drugs. She made this reel. Let's go ahead and watch it so you can kind of understand.
If you do astrology or tarot over here on TikTok, yeah, you're gonna wanna see this. These social media platforms are beginning to take the necessary steps in order to ban that type of content altogether. This announcement was being sent out to the admins of Facebook, and it states on March 17th, 2022, they will be discontinuing targeted options for astrology, horoscope, and tarot.
Tell me why.
Somebody that has a very substantial amount of followers over on Instagram sent me a message of this, and she sent it to me because I was complaining that I was being banned for no reason and censored as fuck. My question is why? Because we both know that's fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Do you see this? Make it make sense. And believe me, it's not just me. It is hundreds of thousands of creators this is happening to. TikTok didn't wait till March 17th. They've been doing it. And this is just the beginning. Share that shit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, if you've been on Instagram lately or even TikTok, I've seen almost every single creator I know on TikTok have fake accounts, multiple fake accounts, multiple bots go after them, and everyone's getting a DM of a unsolicited, reading offer and things like that. And now you might be thinking, oh, Cameron, they're just blocking, targeting essentially the word essentially is what they're doing. The word that you target, astrology, tarot, horoscope. Let me explain this. If you're not familiar with how content creation works or the back end of, what bigger social media people do, when you are doing things like SEO, which is essentially using targeting words, like making sure astrology or tarot is like the first word that you put in your title, making sure that you say it correctly, say it clearly. When you put tarot and astrology in the description, it's all SEO to boost your content in the algorithm. But what happens when you take off the targeted words of astrology and tarot, that is what the algorithm uses to throw into other people's faces. But if the algorithm is no longer looking for those type of words, it's no longer going to throw it in your face, which means it's going to slowly take away astrology and tarot content out of your life completely. Once it's out of social media too, that's a pretty big step. And here's the thing. She's right. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to be affected by this, right? And what's sad is this isn't even this is beyond how people pay their bills. This is my religion. I got it fucking tatted on me. But this is the other thing. We all know that content creators, especially on Instagram and TikTok, have had these problems with fraudulent accounts being attacked. And rather than Instagram and Facebook taking the responsibility of cleaning out the bots on their platforms, they would rather censor and start to target specific niche communities and just get rid of them. So here's the thing. This is starting on March 17th, 2022. Again, what this is going to look like is it's just removing the ability for that video, for that content to be thrown in the algorithm. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're blocking the content. That doesn't necessarily mean they're censoring the content, but it's the same thing. It's a backhand way of doing it. That's how these companies get around things like this. So it isn't it doesn't go against anyone's rights or anything like that. However, it's a slippery slope. How long ago was it? I posted this on Instagram. How long ago was it that they were burning witches? Or aren't you guys the granddaughters of the witches that you couldn't burn? It's a very slippery slope I find with this kind of stuff, and it just makes me nervous. But I wanted to do this video today to kind of go over what's happening, what that means it's going to turn into, what we can do about it. And, I want to offer you guys also some resources and different ideas of where to go from here. Now, again, all this is just them taking off. Essentially, they're just going to take them off the algorithm. They're not going to be promoting it. So that's Instagram, TikTok, Meta. You should be off Facebook anyway. It's 2022. Get off of that. It's like when I see it's just like shitty drugs. Get off Facebook. I'm probably going to get off Instagram because of this, because I just don't support this in any way. This completely targets me specifically, and I can't affiliate with that. But here's the thing: once they take that kind of stuff away, right? It's just not going to be in your face, really, and you're going to have to go out of your way to search for your content creators. Which, I mean, how often do you go out of your way to search for a specific content creator? Unless you're like really looking for them, but also how a lot of the social media stuff works, how a lot of it's all based on dopamine hits. It's all based off algorithm. It's all based off what you interact with. And if you're not interacting with this astrology stuff more and more and more, it's going to get more and more difficult to promote it. And again, what this does is just normalize astrology and tarot and spirituality being taboo. And here's the thing, this is already a very, very isolating practice. Most of you don't go to in-person meetups and talk to people about astrology in real life. Some of you don't even mention this to your friends or family, and some of you only keep this to yourselves and privately. And they want that. They want to continue to make this taboo and weird. Because again, I mean, this is just, I'm making this video because, again, this is just a very small step, but it's the first step. And I called this shit out on my podcast like 8 months ago. They're going to slowly start censoring it. I predict it's going to be based off misinformation. But, once they kind of normalize it not being there, it only takes a little bit of something to be looked at as a little bit weird or taboo and too sensitive and too weird to block it, to put it as misinformation. And here's the thing too. I think the scariest part about this is so what we see in politics and what we see right now is this pro-censorship, pro-cancel culture, pro-authoritarianism. What we see is the social media platforms first do it. They're the ones that first make it normal to cancel someone and to do it. But what we see after that is we see direct economic consequences of that, right? For example, I now officially take Stripe on my website to as a payment processor for when I get readings. Trying to literally a year ago, Stripe had a terms of service pretty much that said, we don't fuck with astrologers essentially, and they just reversed that to start opening up with astrologers, right? Well, if Instagram and Facebook and Meta and TikTok are all changing this, what's stopping PayPal from letting astrologers take payments? They already started doing that. Same thing with Stripe. I believe I saw a post that Patrick Watson did on Twitter where he mentions the payment processors that allow psychic services and astrologers to make payment processes. But here's the thing. Once you take away the ability for the exchange to happen, once you see the companies start making it more and more taboo, oh, that's actually weird, oh, that's actually this, it's again, a lot of this, we're not too far away from the point in history where this stuff was really illegal and it was really like not a good thing to do this stuff, and that you could literally get burned at the stake for practicing tarot, witchcraft, and astrology. So it's just it's a very slippery slope. I try not to, you might think, Cameron, oh, you're overreacting. Maybe I am overreacting. I really thought about, Cameron, is this an overreaction? Is this really happening? But what's the next step? Okay, so they take off the target. They pretty much take you off the algorithm. They don't promote your work. What's next? Will it stop there? Because we're human beings. We're going to find creative ways to get around it. And if they're already making a step towards suppressing something, they will continue, right? An object in motion continues to stay in motion, right? Simple fucking laws of physics. And here's the thing. So we have a dilemma, right? Astrology, spirituality, tarot, it has completely blown up online over the past decade or so, right? It has completely changed millions of lives over the pandemic. How many of you got into this stuff over the pandemic, right? It's so big, right? And thank God we've had these social media platforms to share and express. But this is just kind of, I think, I don't want to say that this is a gravy train coming to an end, but this is kind of like a something's got to change here. Part of me wants to say we should boycott Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. I've never boycotted anything before like that. But the other part of me, goes like, oh, well, that's not the solution. But the other part of me says, well, they're already boycotting you. I know so many people that make and pay their bills and pay other people's bills, by the way. Like people, this is a fucking economy. Like the spiritual, when I was making my business plan for this way back in 2016, this was like I think it was like a $2 billion industry. And I know since 2016, it has risen up. So it is a flourishing economy, right? This is going to have a huge effect. And this is just the first step. This is an acknowledgement of the first step towards this eventual snowball effect, right? But they're boycotting you. They're going to take away your voice. They're going to take away, and I'm speaking directly to the astrology and spirituality creators, right? If you're afraid to boycott Instagram and TikTok, if you're afraid to get off these platforms, I feel bad for those creators that are on TikTok and Instagram right now, because their shit, like people literally make their income from this, and now they're going to have to fucking figure out something, right? These are real people, like real people that actually like, I don't know, like live their life. Like I know a lot of them. I know most of them, in fact. And now the way that they have been able to, and it's been sustainable, right? They've been doing this for years. And again, now part of running a business is having to go and fluctuate with the changes. But when your job is slowly becoming more and more like, okay, it's going to get censored here. And when everything is more online, like it just makes it incredibly difficult. And it's also just, again, I think what hurts is that it's just not just like a topic. Like this is a belief. This is astrology, tarot, spirituality. It's changed my life. I believe in it more than anything, like straight up. But I think I feel for the creators right now on Instagram and TikTok. This isn't a fucking month, guys. Rent's going to be due after that. And if they're not getting promoted, right? If people aren't seeing that, they're not going to like, this is how it all works, right? And again, like people are still going to survive and they're still going to be able to do the thing, but like this is a step in a really big direction. And what this really is for a lot of content creators, for a lot of astrologers and tarot people, it's a real come to moment with what's next, right? Again, part of me says boycott it and delete it, but the other part of me just knows, I know this is that's your platform. It's how you make your money. It's how you get out there. So it's not an easy decision. It's not something easy to do. There's not a lot of options, because I'm going to provide resources here at the end of this video of what we could do. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a lot of them. Because as a content creator, let me share something with you as a content creator that every content creator right now agrees with. I talked to a lot of them. No one knows where to go. We all know Instagram is dead. We all know Facebook died years ago. Twitter is dead. I think the problem with Twitter is Twitter's whole model is based on attacking and vilifying people. So I think being on Twitter is a liability, because it's just about at some point you're at some point you're next, because that's just how it works. So anyway, so where's the next platform? And I think we're all wanting that right now and knowing where to go. And I don't think there's anywhere to go. Truly. I think there's YouTube. I'm on YouTube, but I know YouTube's going to start censoring this stuff, and I'm going to have to figure something out, because I don't know what's next. I mean, I pray to God YouTube doesn't. And if YouTube people are watching this, like, don't. But there's not a lot of other places to really go. And I think, this is a really come to moment. I think also when it comes to you practicing astrology and tarot right now, this is why I'm making this video. Like, this is real fucking life. Like, a lot of people are into this casually and it's fun and games, but straight the fuck up, this is real life and this is a religion. Like, people don't like that, especially people in authority. They don't like that. And it's just, again, this is a very slippery slope. So I think this is a time to really tune in right now. And I think if you're doing this practice, I ask you, like, what are you in this for? Are you ready to take that next step? Because a lot of people are going to quit after this. And I think a lot of people watching that consume this content, that love your favorite tarot reader, your favorite astrologer, your favorite spiritual person, right? Like, they're going to start going away because they just can't do it, right? If you're trying to have access to these people through some type of social media, that's your main way of getting through these people, like, you're not going to see them that much. And if that's not profitable for them, you're going to see a lot of people end up quitting, right? So there's going to be even less people doing this kind of stuff, which just hurts, my opinion, everybody. I think this has been a very flourishing community over the years. And I think tarot, astrology, spirituality, all of this stuff is really, for me, this is how I got through the pandemic. This is how I get through life every day. And I know a lot of people are on that same page. So it's just, again, I take this so seriously. But again, I think we should boycott. As far as what are we going to do about it? I think we should boycott IG, TikTok. I think we should just do social media in general. I'm struggling with that personally. I know, because here I am on YouTube and I do these videos. And I know it's not the safest platform, but it's just one of those things. So I get when people, might not want to boycott Instagram or TikTok or delete it. It's a slippery, it's a hard thing to figure out what to do, what's next, right? But I think we should all get off these social media websites. It's literally just killing our brain cells. It's dividing us. The reason I like YouTube, because at least it's long form content and it's not just snap in your face reactionary all the time. The thumbnails are, but that's different. I think you guys should bring this attention to others. What's after astrology? I think about the information I have found online that has literally saved my life. Literally saved my life. For example, I got two fucking perfect examples. One of them is my diet. I was really unhealthy for a really long time. I had no idea what's going on. I did my own research, which is apparently really bad to do nowadays, even though in universities they're supposed to teach you to fucking research shit. And I researched this stuff and I've learned about, my nutrition and my diet, and it's changed my life. However, what I do personally, which may not work for you, it may not be, the thing that you like, but personally, I'm somewhere between a keto carnivore diet. And what scares me is this has changed my life, and this has changed millions of people's lives too, if you go on YouTube. However, it goes against the food pyramid, the USDA food recommendations. So what does that mean? That means if they wanted to, in the world of PR and positioning, you can just say that keto and carnivore stuff is, misinformation. That goes against the USDA guidelines. That goes against these guidelines. That goes against the authoritarian guidelines. That goes against these guidelines. So again, what's the other thing too? There's a guy on YouTube I really like. His name's Prep Medic. He's like super, super knowledgeable about emergency medicine, and he's done everything. But I think about, doctors being on YouTube and these platforms and how easily they can get censored, right? And these are actual people again, it's like if they can do this, what else can be labeled, right? Because this is in my opinion, it's freedom of speech, but also it's a fucking religion. Whoa, what if they banned Christianity? What if they banned Islam on these social media websites? They won't ban the Taliban, so I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing. But I just ask, well, what's next? If this isn't a big deal, but I also think you should bring attention to this to other people, because they're next. Sure, kick off astrology. We have been rogue before. We have gone underground before throughout history. That's the other question. Are the astrologers and tarot people, y'all ready to go underground? Y'all ready to, it's convenient when it's popular. We'll see. And, for me, I still personally, let me share with you what I think. I still think this stuff has a very, very bright future, but I think that we have to we have to create that. But when it comes to banning and censoring things, I just think it's a really slippery slope. I think this stuff has a really, really bright future, but clearly we're at a crossroads right now, because the way that it has been blowing up is about to change. And I think we need to be aware of that right now in this moment. The other thing is diversify. We need to diversify everything. I think a lot of this centralized way of doing stuff, which is primarily online social media, is not going to work. There's two things I really like. I want to promote this one astrologer that I really like. I don't really what's the word I'm looking for? Consume a lot of astrologers' content nowadays, but this girl, Harmony Ellington, let me find her email. I think it's voyage.earth. It's a newsletter. This is an astrologer. She sends out a newsletter. It's super weird. It's super esoteric. It's fucking awesome. newsletters, and she's all, like I said this, she says that she thinks email is the future. And I've read about Cal Newport, and I've talked to other people, like they really think email is the future. And I also think that too. I'm personally going to start to try to bring that more into my business model, because it's a direct way to get to people. It's a direct way to talk to people. So I think when it comes to, if you're an astrologer, a spiritual person, or a tarot person, get on email. Two, I also think if you consume this stuff, you start subscribing to people's emails. Like, otherwise you're not going to hear from them, and they're still going to be around. They're still going to be doing things. The other thing is, and this is a big, I'm asking a lot of people right now, but it's something that's very near and dear to my heart at this moment, is we need in-person community. If you have been in the astrology space, I don't even know what the tarot space is like anymore, or any of the spiritual, but I know at least in the astrology space, it's been very divided. There's been a lot of hostility. There's been a lot of pain. A lot of people, like, when you go online again, it was a lot of this, like, I mean, you guys, a lot of people have left Twitter because of this fucking reason, but we need to, like, commune together in real life, in real person. We need community. Like, there are people out there that don't see the importance of meeting in person. But I think this is the time more than ever to meet in person. And quite frankly, I'm sick of everyone, like, so I'm right now I live in Vegas, but I'm moving to Denver. A lot of astrologers move in Denver, and I'm starting a new Denver astrology meetup. There isn't one right now because it's not going on, but I'm going to start a new one. And what I wanted to say was, I'm tired of people complaining about not being any in-person community where they live. Okay, then you make it. You be the one that wants to have, like, if you want to have an astrology meetup in your city and there isn't one, well, can you put 2 and 2 together? I think right now, I think this is the time to step up as a leader in your community. If you want an astrology, I think, well, again, too, people just talk about how this is so isolating and so alienating, and there's no one to talk to about it. Well, like, we have to it's hard. It's not easy to actually go out of our way to all convene together and organize this, but clearly we got to do it. I think right now, I think it's very clear we have to start doing this, because we're already very divided as it is. I think social media has divided everybody on every single basis. And I think we need to really start rehabilitating this community. I think we need to start forgiving a lot of people in this community. I think we need to start coming together for a lot of reasons, for our shared interests. And I think that starts with in-person stuff. Here's a lot of people won't get this one. I doubt a lot of people watch this, but there's a lot of organizations in astrology, and I'm going to go over them as resources here in a minute. But I would just like to personally call out a lot of the astrology organizations, like Aya, ISAR, not even ISAR, just honestly all of them. I just feel as if there's 5 or 6 organizations in the astrology community, and not one of them's doing a goddamn thing. Honestly, not anyone's got any type of leadership, any type of backbone. And I just feel like with how popular astrology is, it's really insane that these organizations are not doing more, like, especially Aya right now. Like, where the fuck, like, everyone's a young astrologer. Where the fuck is the leadership, guys? Where's the leadership? I just don't see anyone trying to commune people together at all. So anyway, I'm going to stop being a fucking hypocrite and start actually doing what I say. That's why I'm doing this Denver meeting. But the other thing is, like, we need to start having in-person stuff again. If it is on your heart to do something like that, do it. Stop being afraid. We need it now more than ever. I've said this in my other delineation podcast of, like, if you want to be an astrologer, go for it. But we need other things too, like community leaders. We need organizers. For example, we need web developers. We need app developers. Why isn't there a safe social media? You know what I did? I have gone through, I can't tell you how many times I've Googled alternatives to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I've gone through them. I've downloaded. I just found this new one. It was called BB or Baby. I don't know what it is. And I thought it was going to be good, and it fucking sucked. And it's just, there's nothing out there. So we need people who are interested into astrology to bring in their assets and their resources and what they're good at to the table. Start giving back. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think the other thing we need to stop doing is, personally, to call out a lot of people, stop being pro-censorship. Stop being pro-censorship. And I know I've said I'm also a human being and I'm working on this. I've never been pro censorship, but I've also said, oh, that should be this way or that should be that way. And fuck me for that, right? But we need to stop as a collective being pro censorship, right? We have to stop being that is antagonistic against us, that goes against everything that we believe in the fundamental right that gives us the ability to do what we do. We have to be, we cannot be pro censorship and we cannot be pro cancel culture. And we cannot attack others and throw them down publicly. And there's a lot of people that have done that. And here's the thing. I used to get really mad at people that used to do that, but unfortunately, it's not them. Most of these people, I'm talking right now specifically to the people that consume astrology content and that have seen the division in these communities lately. These are all good people. The people that attack everyone are honestly probably good people at the end of the day. But these social media platforms create the division. That's why I said Twitter. Twitter's whole business model is create a problem. And, at some point, it's all, they don't promote your tweets unless it's about an attack, unless it engages, which the only thing that engages is panic and attack and, and criticism and all of those things, right? So it's just one of those things where, most of these people that are really good people in real life, are on these platforms that, alter, like literally, like, I don't care how cool or smart you think you are, like billions and billions and billions of dollars of research and development goes into these apps to make sure that you are subconsciously swiping and engaging in that anger and you don't even fucking know it and you're not even aware of it. You're not even more powerful than it. You just got to get the fuck off of it. So I think in order to, I think we should stop being pro-censorship. I think we should, and again, that's going to be hard. I don't know how to navigate that, right? I don't know how to navigate. Dude, honestly, with this video I'm making right now, I don't know how to navigate any of this, guys. I don't know what's next for the astrology community, but all I know is they're going to start attacking us. And if we don't step up, we're done. We're fucking done. Bye-bye. No more astrology. Straight up. Like, watch how fast it happens. Watch how fast it happens. Mark my fucking words. And I'll be there to the day I die defending this shit. So I hope you're with me. I think we should be taking this really seriously though. I think this is a very small step. And again, I will acknowledge that this isn't like oh my gosh, they're directly banning it and deleting things, but it's the snowball effect has already begun. And we have a month until that happens. So to start transitioning to the resources, right? Here's the thing. A lot of people are going to have to start getting comfortable going a little bit rogue and doing things alternatively and differently. For a lot of content creators, this is going to be more work for you. But there's still a way to be successful, right? There's a way to still do astrology and spirituality and things. It's just not going to be through the business model of social media. That is a dead business model now because it goes against our core beliefs. And I think if you try to do again, if you want to do the social media thing, I think you're going to go really nowhere fast. I think we have to, and again, it's not to say it shouldn't be a part of your business model, but it's time to diversify, right? Do something in person, write a book. Just diversify yourself if you really want to be in this for the long run, because I think if you're all in right now, which most people are all in on Instagram and TikTok, I think you're on a sinking ship. And there's other alternatives, but you have to start now. You have to acknowledge that now. I also think we should start actively resisting this. I wish there was a way I knew how to boycott this. I don't know how. I'm just saying how I feel right now. I have no idea how we could boycott it or what we could do, but there's got to be a way that we can tell Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Well, TikTok's not going to listen because, again, it's, people argue with me with this, but it's ran by, China essentially, and China's not going to promote anything astrology related. They will actively censor that type of stuff. So I think there's no hope in TikTok, period. But but still, we need to let them know. I would like, they need to be known, it needs to be known that this is a fucking problem. And that we're going to, I'm not going to stand for this. I got to figure out a way to delete Instagram. I have a lot of family members on there, and that's how I interact with my real in life friends. And I'm conflicted because I don't want to support it, but it's such an integral part of, other things that I do. So, again, I think this is a challenge for all of us. The reason I'm making this video is just to just talk about this, right? I don't know. I know a lot of people don't have people to talk about this with, and this is a fucking real thing. This is real life. I can't believe, I literally can't believe they're going in 30 days. They're going to literally stop. Do you know how much astrology and tarot content fills the online spaces? It's a lot more than you think. It's a lot more than you think. So anyway, resources. As far as, again, what's next, there's a lot of organizations out there, things like the Association for Young Astrologers. ISAR is the International Society of Astrological Research. There is what's that one? There's AFAN, the Association, the Astrological, I don't know. I forgot what the AFAN was, but there's a couple of orgs. Now, I'm not going to sit here and recommend to you these orgs personally at this moment. Personally, I've donated to a lot of these orgs. I've honestly not gotten a lot of value. I was getting a lot of value out of IF for a while, but I haven't heard or seen them do really anything. So maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe they are doing stuff. But here's the thing. The reason I am saying these orgs, though, is that we need leaders. We need people in this, like, trust me, for how many organizations there are in this astrology community and how little is actually going on behind the scenes it's fucking mind-boggling. And again, we all can't do anything. So I think if you want to, if this has changed your life, if this has affected you, please, we need other people. Like, just we need people. Like, this is, maybe you don't want to fight or defend astrology. Maybe you don't give a fuck about this shit, but it's like, okay, well then fuck you, I guess. Like, there's just people like, oh, okay, well, I guess I won't be seeing my favorite Instagram people or my favorite, horoscope people. I guess if that's okay with you. But I think the other thing is I think the biggest resource right now is diversifying and going off-grid media. Patreon. If you're a content creator, Patreon has changed many people's lives, including mine. And I think for those who are adverse to Patreon for let's say the monetary purposes, like, you don't want to pay. I love free content, right? I've always put my weeklies out for free. I consume mostly free content. I'm going to work personally as a content creator to give more accessibility to free content from my Patreon. But I think that the path forward is this, like, if you really want to support and if you really want to watch this type of content, it's going to end up turning into, like, you are going to have to grassroots independently promote this person. But this is the thing. This goes in line with the astrology, guys. This goes in line with the astrology. We know this is going to happen because we're going into Pluto, going into Aquarius. And what have we learned with Saturn and Aquarius? You're either on this side or you're on that side. They got their own issues. They both got their own problems. But the difference is there's one that's in and there's one that's out. Right now, astrology was really in. We're going to start finding our way out here really soon. And so I think this is something to get creative about. Honestly, I hope you guys don't watch this and think doom and gloom. I think this is a fucking call to action, in my opinion. I think this is something like, hey, rather than like what I see, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I see a problem. So it's time to develop a solution, right? And I think that solution is, again, more in-person community, stronger bonds with these people, reaching out to other people. And again, I got to work on all this stuff too. I'm not saying here that I do all of this stuff currently. Like, this is a wake-up call for me. Like, this is how I live my life. And I plan on fucking doing this for a long time. And so I've got to change as a content creator. I've got to change as a business person. I've got to change as an astrologer, right? That's why I'm saying this right now. But and some people might think I'm freaking out about it, but I'm telling you, this is the first step and it's going to keep going. A lot of other people agree with me. A lot of other people have seen this coming. And it's just one of those things where it's almost inevitable. But I don't know. I don't want to go down without a fight. I don't want to just have this all dissolve and die. And I want to do my best to arm you guys with, whatever I can. And again, I think the biggest thing too is there's not a lot of apps out there in terms of doing something different, right? There's not a lot of different places to go to consume this type of content. I think the best way to do it is going to be doing it more independently until there is a better solution. And I think there will be a better solution, right? There's, it used to be MySpace, and then it was Tumblr, and then it was, Snapchat, and then Instagram, right? These things fluctuate and these things change. And so there will eventually be, I think, a safe haven for us, because a lot of other content creators are looking for this too. We're not the only ones, right? And I think we also need to find solace in that. I think we need to be with the people, like, and again, I don't think just like, for example, Like just jumping to the first ship that's an alternative platform, I don't think that's the solution either. I don't think the reaction of that is the solution. I think we need something a little bit more. Again, it's going to be a process, right? It's going to be a process till we figure out this next I guess this next part of the renaissance of astrology in this moment in time. But I also think too, my other problem with just looking for the next app or looking for the next platform is I truly think that the social media stuff is what's killing us. I think it is what is dividing every country, us. It's what, people, it's so funny that all these, governments like, you need to do more about misinformation. It's like the whole platform is based off misinformation. Like, if you want to get rid of misinformation, get off the social media, really. Let's just stop watching media, I guess, in general. But the other hard part is like, we have to have it in our lives. It's a balance that we're all trying to figure out right now, right? But I don't necessarily think that just a single app is the future and just a way to connect is the future, where it just, hacks our programming in our brains to, overconsume and, react to everything. But I do know that this is we're at a shifting point, in my opinion. If Instagram's going to start doing that, we're at a shifting point. And I think it's time to, I don't know. In my opinion, it's not I don't even think this is like oh no, like it's like, dude, this is a fucking wake up call, and it's a call to action. Like, if you want to be the change it. Like, there's so many cities that don't have astrology meetups, and like people think like, oh, who does astrology? I guarantee you, if you're in, let me think of a random big city. Let's say Charlotte, North Carolina, because I've never been there. I know it's a big city, but I don't know what's going on there. I guarantee you make an astrology meetup, you post it, you post it enough, whether it's online or in person, I guarantee you're going to get like 5 or 10 people to come up. Like it's all about just taking that action, right? So anyway, I think that's going to be the big thing. I think the other thing is, I wish I was trying. I've really looked for the next platform, what to do. That's very difficult. I don't know what's going to be the next platform to put stuff on. I think, again, YouTube and long form content, I think, is really safe. I think for other content creators, I think video content's the safest form of content in the future. I think it's the most stable, and I think it's going to be the most rewarding content in the future. But again, I just don't know what's next after this. So here's the thing. We can let them censor us. We can let them take us off. I don't really make my money through Instagram or TikTok, so it's not necessarily going to affect me directly, but there are a lot of people that do. And I ask, are we, because I'll join in with you guys, but like, are we going to just like, I don't know, stay silent? Like, how can we let them know that this is a problem? How can we actively resist? I don't know what that looks like, but I think that's a question to think on. I hope after this video you are looking at this situation a little bit more differently, because it's going to slowly start changing here soon, unless we do something about it and change things, right? So I just wanted to make this video to bring you guys awareness that this is going on. It is going to affect a lot of content creators. In fact, it's going to affect your favorite content creators. So I guess just get ready for a change in how we do astrology and tarot and spirituality. So with that being said, I'll see y'all.